I'm going to be using my Strathmore Ready Cut paper today. I have really been missing this paper because this is my absolute favorite paper that I love to use. And I've only got 2 sheets left and I really need to buy some more, but I'm just sort of waiting until I get some more funds because this is quite expensive. But yeah, I'm going to get one of these out today and I'm going to do a little illustration on this. This illustration was a fun piece to make, and like all sort of big pieces, well, I wouldn't say this is a big piece, but it's quite a detailed piece with a detailed background, more than I usually do. With pieces like this, I tend to get to a point where I want to give up because I feel as though the illustration is not working out in my favor. But what I always tend to forget is that it goes through this ugly stage, and I've really got to get over that. And I've got to push past the ugly stage to the end. And yeah, that's the only issue I had with it. And then at the end of this piece, I thought it was too much. It was too busy, but I don't know, the more days that go by and I look at it, it's okay. I think it really is not a bad piece in the end. But I really wanted to give this piece, because this is another one I spent 3 days on, not obviously 3 days continuous. I have been quite busy this week, so I had to do this piece for only a couple of hours a day for 3 days. Usually I can sit down and do a piece in a couple of hours in one go, but like I said, been too busy. And yeah, I bordered it with some painter's tape, and this tape is really good. I really, it's worth spending the $8 just to get this tape, because it really doesn't bleed, and like, it's proper painter's tape. It's what the professionals use, and $8 for it, I don't think that's too bad for a piece of tape like this. But yeah, you gotta remember the prices here in Australia. Australia is extremely expensive for stuff, so you're probably thinking that that's quite dear for tape, but to me that's quite cheap. So it's quite a good price, I suppose you could say. It's not bad anyway. So I bordered it really nice because I really wanted this to look like an illustration out of a book, because maybe I've sort of got plans maybe in the future of turning this character into a story, maybe. Yeah, I just got to see where it goes. Yeah, just how I feel, in the future with this particular piece. So this illustration is a girl. It's a young girl, and she is, once again, she's not fully human. She is made up of robot parts. And so she's a bit of a cyborg, and she is quite a sick and twisted and demented person. Like, she's going to grow up to be a real sick puppy, this one. And she's sitting in her room, in her little spot, where she likes to have her quiet time and play with her dolls and put them into scenarios of maiming and just torturing, and yeah, just sort of fulfilling those torturous desires that she has. Now, for her eye, I was sort of really channeling Coraline for the eye. So that's why I went with that. So basically, she's had some trauma in the past, and instead of fixing her eye, she's ripped it out because she's half cyborg, and she ended up just gluing a button over the top, and she couldn't be bothered doing anything because she's just a very, very, very messed up young girl. So I added elements to this piece, like she's wearing a shirt. It's kind of like she's just either like come home, or she's just she's like ready to go to bed, and she's got her nightie on, and her nightie is got some writing on it that says, "I'm not crazy." Now I repeat this phrase throughout the picture on the wall, so it's like she has gone and scratched into the wall that she's not crazy, when clearly she is absolutely batshit crazy. And she's got a doll on her arm, which has got blood dripping down because she's obviously been up to no good, and she just wanted to put this doll on her hand with a noose around its neck. And then she's got another doll hanging from the ceiling via a noose. Now there is a doll on the other side. Oh, well, we're up to the rabbit now. So there's a rabbit there where she's got like an ice pick, and she's stabbed this toy rabbit head and yeah, stuck it into the ground, into the floor. And then there's a doll on the other side that is being nailed to the wall. So she is quite she's a sadistic person. Now I really wanted to work with perspective on this as well, and positioning and angles, and that's why I really wanted to do, like, she's sitting in this corner, and I wanted to play around with the wall angles and the floor angles, and it was quite hard to sort of work out how everything was gonna go. And also the ledge on the wall that's got like an icky glass of like blood and a demon head on it, like from a doll, and some bones and an eyeball, like trying to get that to sit on the wall and have the angles right. It was quite a challenge that I enjoyed doing. So yeah, it really sort of pushed me to try and work with perception and perspective and you know, whatever it's called, all that stuff, that and angling. So also you'll see now that I've got a book on the floor that says How to Maim. It's kind of like her guide to learning how to be a completely sadistic person. And you'll see in the bottom left corner, and this is this is my favorite part of the illustration, believe it or not, is this hand in the bottom left corner. It's just off a little bit, so it's sort of like a bit of a mystery on what has happened, and it's laying in a pool of blood. It is attached to a person, and when I later color the hand in, I make it a greeny sort of flesh color because it has been there a while and it's starting to decay. And yeah, so she's really moved from maiming her dolls, and she does it in real life. So this is probably kind of her torture room, like her what do you call it, where she goes to prep and work out how she's going to attack her next victim and what way she's going to do it. So yeah, that's a extremely sick, sadistic story for you right there. Once again, using my silver Sharpie. I really love using it at the moment. It's quite hard though when I do her arm, her exposed robot arm, because the Sharpie point has sort of, it's really filed down now. And her arm is quite, like the lines and that are quite small for where I've got to colour in. So it is quite hard to use that Sharpie on small areas. But I just go really slow and sort of try and angle it so it is sort of getting in there and it is working, and then I just go over it in the end and just define it, and yeah, that's all I really do. I've got to get I'm hoping that there is like a fine liner metallic pens out there. I haven't looked. You guys might know. Yeah, I've really got to get me some for the finer areas like that. But yeah, I really like the Sharpies because other than the water-based metallic pens that I have, I'm not a big fan of them because I can't go back over them. It just smears them. And yeah, with the alcohol Sharpie markers, you can just go straight over the top of them with watercolor and it doesn't move. It's wonderful, and that's why I really enjoy working with it. I do have a Pentel chrome, not chrome, but it's a silver marker, paint marker, but it is shocking. You cannot write back over the top of it. You can't do anything with it. It's so shiny. So I sort of stay away from using that, and I just get out my good old Sharpie. It's just, they're an awesome pen. They're an awesome all-rounder pen, I find. Marker for everything, and yeah, I really enjoy using them. Now, probably the major issue I had with this piece is the fact that I tried to sort of bring her out away from the wall, and her skin, I accidentally made her skin color the same color as the wall, so I then had to introduce some pinks into it to bring her out from the wall and the floor. And I don't know, I tried my best to sort of make her pop out from the background, and the plan was to sort of make the background a little less colourful and sort of saturated, but it didn't end up working out that way. It's sort of, everything is sort of fighting for the front of the piece, so that's probably the that's the main thing that I had an issue with for this piece is yeah, just having the background and having her and all the other elements around her that are supposed to be brought more forward, sort of fighting for the front of the piece. And yeah, I wish I kind of did that a little bit differently, and I kind of wish that I just didn't do the background as dark as I wanted to, and as I just wish I just did a bit more washy. But yeah, it's the only thing I can sort of really whinge about the most with this piece. Another thing about this piece as well is I didn't use any references for this at all. I didn't use a reference for her face, the hands, the legs, her way she's sitting. I kind of just went into this hoping for the best and just sort of doing something out of my brain. And I'm hoping I pulled it off. I really do hope that, yeah, it's okay for not referring to anything and not looking at anything. It was just, I just drew it. And I like to do some of these sometimes where I don't look at references. I like to challenge myself, and I like to yeah, push myself out of my boundaries and just come up with something on the spot, and yeah, try and work and sort of try and see if I've retained sort of what do you call it? So like muscle memory, but for the brain, to draw certain situations in angles and poses that I have done in the past, and my brain has remembered how to do that, and I just do it, and it comes easy to me because what you guys don't know is, I probably should explain myself a little bit more there, is behind the scenes, and what I've been doing is I have a completely different sketchbook that I have been working on poses and anatomy And yeah, I just don't, I just do that in the background. I just do that in my own time when I feel like trying to work on different poses. And one day I will do a sketchbook tour on that book, but I'm trying to sort of learn and do everything in there, and then eventually I want to be able to speed up the process of doing a piece and be able to just go in and draw that pose or draw that object or whatever, and yeah, and not have to refer to references and look up references. It just speeds the process up a fair bit. So that's what I have been doing and trying to, yeah, so just trying to better myself. I'm trying to better myself with everything because, yeah, I'm trying to teach myself because I haven't had any, you know, formal training with art. I only did what I did at school and then just did on my own. And yeah, it's just one big learning curve at the moment, and trying to just trying to better myself and being self-taught. Yeah, that's why I'm doing it. So we're nearing the end of the piece now, and I'm just going over everything with a white gel pen and highlighting everything. And the piece didn't come together for me until I did this. Like, like with most of my art, like I really am my biggest critic. Like, I'm so hard on myself with stuff. So yeah, I've really got to try and not be so hard on myself. But here is some peel porn for you, for all you people out there who love watching tape come off the edges of pictures. I really wanted to include that for you guys. So yeah. Anyway, I do like this piece in the end. It's quite busy and it's quite detailed for what I usually do, but I really wanted to work on a detailed piece, and yeah, there it is. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and yeah, I will see you guys in the next one, and hopefully you're staying safe. Bye.